Well, hello once more here on a Sunday. I literally just got back from Boston, and I mean that in absolutely the correct way. I'm using literally in the right way. 36 hours. First, a clarification. My Facebook feed informed me that my suggestion that punk music could not possibly be made after 1992-ish was a crazy suggestion and not possible. And I basically agree with that. A friend of mine who we shall refer to as the Truth Hammer, accused me of being an outsider and representing an outsider perspective on a scene that he holds dear to himself. And I totally agree. I am admittedly an outsider, and I hope that I never suggest that I'm an insider in really anything that we discuss on this show. Knowledge of one's dilettante status, I think, is pretty important, and certainly admitted. So, point taken and point conceded. Many thanks to Ed for stepping in and recommending just a lovely band that I was not aware of, Marillion. It's interesting, when somebody recommends a band, it says a lot about them, and I feel like I know more about your father now, having checked out Marillion. Not a sound that I am all that familiar with. I do have some familiarity with some aspects of that sound. I can totally hear the auditory similarities to a band like Genesis, Peter Gabriel sort of era Genesis, most definitely, and so I'm not surprised that that's your favorite band. I kind of heard a little Steve Winwood in there, probably not in lyrical content at all, and probably really just the timbre of the lead singer's voice in Marillion is very Steve Winwoody, but maybe a little bit in that sense of Traffic. Traffic liked to do that kind of thing too, where they would just have a song lead into another song lead into another song. But Traffic was admittedly a little bit more hippy dippy about it, I think, than Marillion. But yeah, I can totally get it. I also I got like a Rush vibe there, and it's not a band that I particularly gravitate to, but I think Rush also is that kind of sound from particularly that kind of era. That sort of big songs bleeding in concept album-y kind of sound, but. Really interesting. Not a band that I really had any familiarity with before. On a side note, thank you for the CD. It was an interesting experience for me because it was a reminder as to how far away from CDs my own listening habits have gotten. We don't have a functional CD player in the house. I suppose I could have put it into the PlayStation 3 to listen to it, but we do have CD players at least in my car still, so my car was able to handle that without too much of a problem. We don't even have CD players in our computers anymore, and that was a real eye-opener for me. It was surprising. I was like, oh wow, I don't have a CD player anymore in my life. So thank you for that as well. I would like to ask you a question about authenticity in music, specifically. Is there a difference between a band that's authentic versus not authentic? I suppose I'll hold up two different people, I guess, as exemplars of what I mean. So Justin Timberlake, not somebody that not a sound that I go out and I grab off of the radio, but terrestrial radio on Long Island is a total desolate wasteland, and so there's a lot of Justin Timberlake that gets played, and I know a little bit about Justin Timberlake because my wife is a big Justin Timberlake fan, and he's authentic. I would say that I qualify him as authentic. He's got genuine musicianship. He has a real sort of perspective on his music. I think that he has a real, guiding hand in the sound that he creates, and I think that you can hear that when you listen to Justin Timberlake if you were to compare him to, say, like a Britney Spears, right? When you listen to a Britney Spears, to me, it just sounds hollow, and I think a good portion of that is because she's just basically being told what to sing, and everything's being taken care of away from her, and, she just comes in at the end, and a lot of the decisions that she makes in her creative life, I feel like she probably doesn't really make. They're made by other people, and I think that you hear that when you listen. And I was thinking about this because the recent Radiolab short was dealing with this notion of authenticity in hip-hop, and I'll link to it down below, but they used the example of, I don't know what that noise was. I think it was a cat. Well, We'll find out in a bit, won't we? But they use this example of Nicki Minaj, and again, not not really at all in my wheelhouse. But the DJ that they were talking to from Hot 97 was making the point that Nicki Minaj is a very talented rapper. That she has a lot of the skills that make for a good rapper, but that her movement towards popular music, Starships was the tune. I'm vaguely familiar with it from, again, the desolate wasteland of terrestrial radio. But that rubbed a lot of people in the hip-hop community the wrong way, because it seemed like she was really, selling out, and that she lost her authenticity. And that really got me thinking about this notion of authenticity. So I'd like to know what you think. What do you think about authenticity? Is it something that we can hear in music? Is it something that that you value in the same way that I seem to think that I value it these days as I think about it? When there isn't that authentic sound to it, that's when it starts to leave us flat. I think that's probably true of really anything. So that's my question to you. I'd be interested to know what you think, and feel free to tell me that I'm totally wrong. I'll buy it. Oh, and one more thing. You're coming back from the Galapagos. I'm sure that you have a lot of interesting photos. So I challenge you to a Galapagos photo off until such time as we're fit to declare a winner. And I will begin right now. Challenge. I'll see you next week. And I hope your trip is great. All right, take it easy.